channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. If you guys hear noise in the background, it is the TV and Mason playing, and he's going to be coming in and out of this video because I'm going to film this while he's awake. But with that being said, guys, I hope you guys are having an awesome day, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So this video is going to be about my blood disorder that I recently just found out about on the 1st of September, and it is currently October 25th, if that will focus. It's been a long journey and it's still not over. So pretty much to fill you guys in on what happened was, I'm gonna go back to September. So that week I was feeling just like really fatigued and just like really tired, and like I was just laying on the couch, but physically I can't just not do nothing. So I wanted to do something, but physically I just could not get my body up off the couch. Boop. I went to the doctors because I was experiencing some pain in my mouth, and I was told that I had an infection in my mouth, so they prescribed me amoxicillin. And I took the amoxicillin and I was on it for 24 hours, and then the very next day after I started the amoxicillin, I did all my errands, I went to work, I took my grandma everywhere she needed to go, and then I came home and I was just really tired, so, which isn't unusual because I take naps when Mason takes naps. So when I'm out like that, I just get tired. So when we came home, I laid Mason down for his nap, and then I took a nap. And then when I woke up, my husband came home, Eddie came home, and when I woke up, he noticed that I had like a rash on my leg, and it was like a red rash. So it looked like razor burn, so he asked me, did you cut yourself? And I was like, no, I didn't even shave today, so I don't know. So I looked at it and I instantly just started panicking because, you know, I have really bad anxiety, and I haven't addressed that on my videos on my channel yet, and I will address that pretty soon. But I just instantly started panicking, so I called the doctor's office. I thought I was having an allergic reaction to the amoxicillin. I made an appointment. I went in the very next day, and they told me that it was an allergic reaction to the amoxicillin, so they switched me to, I forgot what they put me on. They put me on something completely different to where it was like I was only taking 1 tablet a day. So then I started that up, and I literally only did 1 round because that was on a Friday, and then Saturday I woke up with a blood clot in my eye. So I didn't even notice it. I was FaceTiming my family member and they noticed it, and as soon as that happened, I instantly got off the phone and I just started crying. Like, I just was freaking out because I felt like deep down there was something wrong inside, but I was just hoping that, you know, I was just being paranoid. So after that, I called my mom and I was like freaking out. I told Eddie I was freaking out. Like, when I say I was freaking out, like I was freaking out. So they were like, okay, we're gonna go to the urgent care. So we went to the urgent care, and they just told me that the rash on my leg was called petechiae, which is common that some people get it, and then like steroids, they take steroids and it just goes away. Well, he also said he wanted to draw my blood, so he drew my blood, and there I am, just this nervous freaking wreck the entire time. And they were like, Nicole, it's just gonna be a little pinch, it's gonna be a little pinch. And I was like telling the lab technician, like, it's not even the pinch or the blood being drawn that I'm worried about, it's the results coming back is what I was worried about, because deep down I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what it was, but I knew something was wrong. So then they said that they'll call us as soon as the results come in, and they discharged me from the urgent care. I went home, and I was at home, and I was just like in a panic. I didn't know what to do. I knew that they were gonna call and something was gonna be wrong. So they ended up calling. I ended up giving them Eddie's phone number because I wanted nothing to do with it. So when they called, they said, well, at first, before I left, the doctor told me that he knows my count that he was checking for was going to be low, but it was going to be nothing to worry about. So I went in. Back to what I was saying, sorry, there's now a garbage truck across the street. I have one kid in the window trying to see it, but it's that way, and then I have the cat behind the tripod freaking out who just ran. Anyways, back to what I was saying, guys. I don't even remember what I was saying. I got a phone call, so I'm so sorry. But he said that he called and he said that you need to go to the hospital now. So here I am freaking out. They told me it was my white blood count. My white blood count was extremely low. I get to the emergency room and I'm like freaking out because here I am already in a panic because I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what was wrong. And then everything was happening so fast that it was just like, it didn't go along with my panic disorder that I have. So with that being said, I get to the emergency room and they ask why I was there, and I said that the urgent care doctor just called me, said that my white blood count was really low, I need to go to the emergency now. So then he was looking in his notes, and because the urgent care and the hospital that I went to, they were all a setter, so it all kind of just like went together so they can see everything in the notes. So he was just like, it's not your white blood count, honey, it's your platelets. Your platelets are low. So I don't know, your platelets are these like really weird things inside your bloodstream that help your body to naturally clot. So if you get a cut, it will clot and it will stop bleeding. So mine was low. So they call me back and I'm in triage and they're doing like all my vitals and everything, and then they tell me that they're gonna start an IV. So I'm like, okay, so they start an IV and then they also say that they're gonna take blood. And I'm like, okay, well I just did blood at the urgent care. And so they ended up taking 6 vitals of blood. But then as soon as the doctor finally came into the room, she told me that with the blood, the 2 vitals that they took at the urgent care, they ran it for tests and I don't have any type of cancer. So that was like the #1 blessing that I knew going to the emergency room. I did not have leukemia. I didn't have any type of cancer. Excuse the pillows being thrown in the background. But so then they take me into the emergency room where they're gonna monitor my vitals and everything for a while. So then the doctor comes in and talks to me and says, like, you know, everything that they're running, it's coming back negative. So I mean, those are like amazing signs. I don't know what all tests they ran at the emergency room, but they ran a lot. And then they came in and they told me that they were gonna give me a blood transfusion. So they came in and they brought me 1 bag of platelets, which in 1 bag of platelets, it should boost you up to 6,000 to 7,000 platelets. So they gave that to me and they said that if I was at a 8,000 count or if I was at 13 after the transfusion, that I would be able to go home. So I do want to just claim that as soon as I went into the emergency room, my platelet count was at 2,000, and that is extremely low. And reading how low that was, it's scary because I could have bled out if I would have fell or anything. And it just was like, it was really shocking because the day before I went on a bike ride, like I could have easily have fallen, I could have hit my head, I could have hemorrhaged. Like, it's just really, really scary. So I was only at an 8,000 after they gave me the transfusion, so I got admitted and that was fun. I was there for 3 days. Finally Monday, it was Labor Day weekend, so thank God that my husband had the extra day off, and so did my mom. So on Monday when they checked my blood, they were doing labs every single day checking, and on Monday when they checked it, I was at 13, so I was able to go home. So I went home and I started seeing my hematologist, and I went from 13 to 8 to 5 to 4. I was doing blood work twice a week. So then when I saw my hematologist again, he ordered me to do another transfusion. So I went to the transfusion center and I got 2 bags of platelets, and that only took me up to 1,000. So I went from 4,000 to 5,000 platelets. So that was scary. So I was supposed to do an ultrasound on my spleen and my liver. And I had that appointment set that they were coming, and the very next day, it was the next day, and the night before, I get a call from the transfusion center that the doctor put in orders for me to come in and do a 2-day, 8-hour IVIG transfusion. So that was scary because the doctor didn't consult me. I heard it from the transfusion center and it just happened so fast. It was 6 o'clock at night when I was supposed to do an ultrasound on my spleen and my liver, and I had that appointment set that they were coming, and the very next day, it was the next day, and the night before, I get a call from the transfusion center that the doctor put in orders for me to come in and do a 2-day, 8-hour IVIG transfusion. So that was scary because the doctor didn't consult me. I heard it from the transfusion center and it just happened so fast. It was 6 o'clock at night when So guys, my camera battery died, so now I'm recording on my phone, and I'm gonna turn the TV down because it's kind of really loud. Okay, so I went in for the IVIG, and pretty much what it is the first day and the second day, it is 3 mini water bottle sized just clear fluids. I don't remember the exact term of it, but it's something globian. So if you guys want to look it up, it's called an IVIG transfusion. And pretty much what it does was, because my antibodies were attacking my platelets, is that it slowed down that process. So it kind of just was like, okay, so it did that. And so after I did that, oh my goodness, guys, those skeletons up there scared the crap out of me when I looked in the viewfinder. But thank you, Mason. He had to get on the couch with me. Anyways, guys, so after that, they did that for the first day, and then I got there, the transfusion center opens at 8 o'clock, and I got there at 8 o'clock, and I left there at 6:30 when they close. So it took the entire day, which was okay, because when they do it, since it's a new product to you, they have to give it out slowly, just in case if your body rejects it or anything, they could stop it and it's not pumping into you fast. So finally I hit the point to where it could be max speed. And so the next day when I came in, they did the 3 bottles again, and because I didn't have a reaction to it the day before, they were able to dispense it at a faster speed. So they did that, and then once those 3 bottles were done, they gave me 2 bags of platelets. So I did the 2 bags of platelets after that, and then I was there literally from 8:30 in the morning to 2:30. Like, that one went by super fast, so I was really thankful for that. And then I went and got my blood checked. At this point, I was doing blood work twice a week. So I went and got my blood work, and I waited for it to come up on the app, and it never showed up. So what happened is, like, we have this health app for our insurance, and everything normally hits. Well, ever since I went to the emergency room, nothing was hitting like fast. Like, it was taking days. So I had my blood work done, and it was like the week after, and I still didn't get the results, and I had an appointment with my hematologist. So I went into my doctor's appointment, and I was like nervous, because at this point, like, you know, nothing seemed to help. They had me on steroids, and like it wasn't working, and it was just like I was kind of at the point where it was happening so fast and I didn't understand it, and I was scared. So I was kind of like, I was isolating myself from everybody. I was like in my own world. Nothing was happening around me. I kept getting bad news, and it was exhausting. So I go into the appointment, and he tells me, like, because your bone marrow releases platelets every 10 days. So you get new platelets, and platelets die off every 10 days. So he told me that my count was at a 31. He told me that was a week from when I got the transfusion, that I could have been higher, because it doesn't stay. So at this point, I'm feeling really good. You know, I'm at 31, my body, like, everything. And that's the thing. Like, after I left the hospital, my body felt normal. I felt completely normal. The only problem was I was having low platelets. So then I went the next week he dropped me down to doing labs once a week. So then I went in, I was still doing it twice a week at this point, sorry. And so then I went in that the next week, Monday, to get more labs, and I dropped down to a 12. And so I was confused, and at that point they were using a butterfly needle. If you don't know what that is, it's the smallest needle possible. They normally use it on babies. They don't like to use it on healthy veins, but since I was so beat up, because with low platelets you do get bruises just sporadically, and they just come out of nowhere. So my arms were all beat up. I don't think I deleted all the pictures, because I was going through this point where I just needed to not see any of that was happening. So I don't have any more pictures of that, or if I can find them, I will insert them. But so they were using the smallest needle possible so that they weren't hurting my veins anymore. But at this point, I'm not even feeling any pinches, pokes, nothing when they're drawing blood. So then she started telling me that she was going to start using a regular needle again, because the platelets start to die off trying to get into the needle. So I was just like, okay, well, maybe that's why I was at a 12. I was confused. So then I went again on Wednesday, and I was still at a 12. So then I was just like, okay, you know, like, why am I at a 12? But then I started thinking, like, at least that was two blood draws that I've stayed regular, like at a 12. Like, I didn't drop down, so that's good news. So then when I go see the hematologist again, he was just like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna just change your steroids. So I was on a higher dose steroid at this point, and he was just like, this is completely normal, like it's gonna fluctuate. I have patients where, like, you know, it fixes itself after one transfusion, and then I have other patients that aren't so lucky and it takes a little while to fix. So at this point I'm just like, okay, you know, I'm gonna have to like understand that I'm gonna be one of those patients that it takes a little while to fix. So then I go in and he drops me down to where I get to do blood once a week. So I went in that Monday and I was at a 20. So I was just like, okay, I went from 12 to 20 on my own. This was with no transfusions. I wasn't on steroids yet. He was going to switch my steroids to the next week to when I would change it. And so I was like happy, I was good. And then the week came again, and before I started my steroids, and they checked my count again, and I went up 1,000 on my own. So I was at 21,000. So then Wednesday came around, and that's when he wanted me, that same week is when he wanted me to start my steroids. So I started my steroids. I finished them. I went and got my blood drawn that next week, and I was at a 29. So I was just like, okay, cool. I was like really happy because I hit every single side effect that you can hit from steroids. So I was just like, okay, cool. Like, it's good to know that I'm feeling all the side effects. I know that the steroid's working. Like, I could feel it working, and it was good to see that it actually worked. Well, I went and got my blood drawn this week, and I dropped back down to 13. So I went and saw my hematologist on Tuesday, and he finally had a name for my disorder. I have ITP, but I have acute ITP. So as of right now, acute just means that it's gonna fix itself. There's two different kinds. There's the kind that fixes itself, and then there's the chronic, where it's just a long-going process, which mine could turn into that. Fingers crossed that it doesn't, but as of right now, I have acute ITP. So with that being said, at the beginning, I forgot to mention this, at the beginning when my platelets were super low and I was in the hospital because my antibodies were killing them, they were fighting them, my platelets were premature. So when my platelets came out of the bone marrow, they were baby platelets, so that's why the antibodies were fighting them. He did tell me on Tuesday when I saw him that my platelets are big again, so that is good news. He said that I'm completely fine. The only problem is that I have a low platelet count right now. And he said this is normal. He's had people that he's had in triple digits drop down to a single digit. So with that being said, there's not much more to talk about. He is going to change my steroid back to where I'm taking a shorter amount for a longer period of time to see if that works, which I'm totally okay with because, like I said, I hit every single side effect from the switch of the steroid versus the first steroid I had. So my next step is I will see him in 2 weeks. I'll get my blood drawn again on Monday, and hopefully my platelet count has gone up since then, and if not, just stayed where it's at. There's a medicine that he said that I can start taking, but he doesn't want to do that yet. He wants to give my body a little bit more time, which I'm totally okay with doing that. And yeah, it's just a process of learning like how to live with it. So I don't have any restrictions. He didn't tell me that I couldn't eat this, this, and this. I can't do this and this. I just had to be cautious, obviously, with what I'm doing, which I feel like you should be cautious in life anyway, because like nobody willingly just wants to cut themselves with a knife. But at this point, he said that if I do get a cut, I will stop bleeding. So that's a good sign. Yeah, is that your car? So yeah, now it's just a process of learning like what's life gonna be like now, you know, like I don't know. It's different, but I feel like I'm in a good place now with it versus where I was last month. I mean, this might all change next week. I might be a hysterical wreck. But guys, I just wanted to let you guys know that you can live life with something like this and you will be fine, I guess. Basically, that's what I'm getting from my hematologist, that I'm gonna be fine. I can continue my life. Like, just don't be afraid, but just be cautious. And this is where I've been for the last month and a half. Before that, I just, like I said, I couldn't get myself off the couch, and I didn't feel like those vlogs of me just laying on the couch and watching TV would be very fun. So that's where I've been for the last month and a half, and I'm gonna try my hardest to keep you guys updated on my process with life with ITP, and I'm going to also be trying to upload more, so I hope you guys understand, and I hope this helped some of you guys who struggle or just found out that you have ITP, because literally it's Thursday and I found out on Tuesday, so I mean, yeah. So I hope this helped you guys, and if it did, don't forget to like this video and check out more of my videos, because I'll definitely be keeping you guys updated with my process with this, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye guys.